Hey everybody, Jimmy back with the Triple C Collective. Today is a special day. We're launching Anime Any Day, and we're gonna launch Anime Any Day with Star Wars Visions. We're gonna release all of these episodes for Star Wars Visions, this Anime Any Day. We're gonna release all of these on Sunday. We're going to do 7 episodes, one episode dedicated to each of the 7 studios that worked on the Star Wars Visions episode or like short films that they did for this like season 1 anthology. Just to start off, I loved this idea. I thought it was a really great idea. It was a really great idea, really great way to bring American audiences who might have had like a blind eye to like anime or anything like that. It's a really great way to bring them in via Star Wars. And for myself, like I personally have not been a super big anime fan. Not that I like hate it, I just never got into it. I really watched Pokemon. I watched Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh, and then like I remember I told somebody who was an anime fan then, and they were like, "That's not anime," or whatever. And then like I don't know, I just never really watched it or gave it a chance or watched anything else. So even for myself, I thought this was a really great idea, really great way to expose me to a few different studios so that I can kind of start looking at different anime that I can watch. So that I was really in for this from the beginning. So this was really great. One thing I will say about this is that if anyone has already watched the Star Wars Visions, that's great. I suggest you watch the episodes before you come here and watch anything we talk about here for them. But Star Wars Visions also has extras on it. I don't know if anyone like I don't know. I'm a big fan of watching like the extras and making of like any kind of movie or TV show or anything like that. Like that's basic film school stuff. Like right there. If you never go to film school, watch those things. That's how you're gonna learn how to make some of this stuff, short of just going out there and making it. Um, and This for Visions, they do a really great job of giving you kind of like these shorts. These shorts range from as short as 14 minutes to as long as 23 minutes. Again, 9 episodes from 7 different studios. And It's just really great. It's really awesome. But these filmmaker focus, the special features are only about 7 to 10 minutes long as well, but it gives you little glimpses into the studios, into like why these different studios were picked, how these studios picked their stories that they wanted to tell, and like what Star Wars kind of meant to them. It was really great. It was really cool stuff. So like in that stuff, they give you little tidbits about each episode that I'll share as well as we go on and as we go through this. One of the things, though, they have an episode titled Origins for Visions. I was like, what's this about? And they talk about that there was actually a Star Wars Visions art book that George Lucas opened up like a book, and like you could submit different art or whatever to it. And I didn't know this. I don't know. I guess like shame on me for not knowing that thing like existed or whatever. But I really thought it was cool that that's why they chose Visions as the name of like this anthology series, is that is for them to like kind of give a nod to George Lucas and that art book, because they're bringing in different anime studios to tell their stories within the Star Wars universe that like mean something to them, the same way that when George brought on the different artists to the Visions book, they were able to interpret and tell Star Wars through their wonderful different art pieces and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool, and something that I never would have known without watching the filmmaker focus episodes to Visions. So that's really cool. By the way, Visions is on Disney Plus. The extras are on there as well. I don't know. I really loved it, and I really loved having extras to a really cool anthology. Because let me say that from also before I dive into episode 1 here, I loved Visions. Everything about it was really great. It was really awesome. It was very much so well worth the watch. It was well worth the time. It was just so good. And there's a lot of different things that were like really good about it. Like, well, I loved all of the episodes, but there were things that I loved like insanely well about certain episodes as opposed to other ones. Excuse me. But yeah, Star Wars Visions was great. One other thing that I learned in that Origins Star Wars Visions episode is that they had been kind of talking about doing a Visions type of show, anthology type of show, for like 3 years before they actually did it. It was also interesting to learn that the entire time of Visions, like really being produced for what we ended up getting as this first season of shorts, um, was that all of the meetings were done during the pandemic and stuff. So like at no point did any of like the American Disney execs meet any of the, Japanese anime studios like in person. It was all done via excuse me, like Zoom and kind of what I'm doing here, just talking like to a camera and stuff, which is like kind of wild because like Visions is like really great, but I mean at the same time, like these are top tier anime studios doing what they do best, making great anime, and their stories just happen now to be in a universe that virtually everyone involved is like, Star Wars really means something to me. Like when I first saw it, like it something clicked on me that was like, I want to tell stories, I want to do things like this. And it's really interesting that all of the Japanese like animators and like whether they're directors or whatever, they were all like seeing Star Wars made me want to do this, and I just happened to like kind of like cartoons and drawing and manga and stuff a little bit more, and that's really what pushed them towards like doing animation and stuff. But Star Wars was the thing that they saw that made them want to tell stories and things like that. So it's beautiful, like listening to all these people, excuse me again, continually like talk about Star Wars and what it means to them, and it's great because like the love and the fandom that these different Japanese anime studios have like shows in their work. Like none of these episodes or none of these shorts are bad. Like everyone will like ones more than the other. You might already just be familiar with all of these different anime studios that are involved in Vision, so you might just already have your favorites. But for me, I really liked it all. I really liked being exposed to these 7 different anime studios, so that I mean, I've always loved like cartoons and animation, so like me kind of having a blind spot to anime doesn't really make sense. And when I like watching Visions, like I had that thought to myself of like, why have I not been watching like more anime throughout my life? But so again, we had 9 episodes from 7 studios. They all run from about 14 to 23 minutes. And yeah, all of this was wild and amazing. But the first episode is called, let me dive in actually right now into the first episode. First episode is entitled The Duel. It's from Studio Kamikaze Douga, and it's 14 minutes long. Let me just say, this is like awesome animation. Like it's clearly very hand drawn. It's very like line drawn and stuff. I don't know. That's the only way I can really describe it. I'm not like the trained artist or anything like that. So anyone trained like in that being like, you were horribly wrong at describing this. You're right. You're right. I probably am, but I can just say that it looks like hand drawn, like animation style that way. But I love it. This first episode is like, it's a really great blend of like a looking of a like feudal Japan and like mixed with Star Wars and stuff. Like it's a little village out on the outskirts that then has like the Empire like coming through to collect taxes or whatever. But like I really loved the hand drawn animation. I loved the color use because it's all like black and white, And then there's like certain lights on like the village that are green and blue that's supposed to represent, like Jedis and like the light side of the Force and like, good people, the people we want to be rooting for and hoping like nothing bad happens to. And then we have like one ship that is clearly lit up red, which we can only assume is like the Empire or the Sith, obviously, just due to what Star Wars fandom and being a fan of Star Wars has taught you over the years and stuff. Um, but there's there's that. That's some of the stuff I've really loved. I There's one part where they have a sand person like scream and he's like but he gets like blown away. Spoilers, sorry. But it's really great because it's just a nice little fun little nod of like all the different people that are like in this village trying to protect themselves, like all kind of coming together like that. So it's really neat. It was really awesome to see that. I don't know. I just love seeing little nods and callbacks like that, and this Visions is littered with them, whether it be like very dialogue or something like very imagery or like a person, like an actual character that they pull from. There's a lot of really great stuff. I like the just because I'm a huge fan of like the MCU and stuff. Like when I saw this one, there's a female Sith warrior in this, and she's got like a Mary Poppins type style lightsaber. It's just great. It's just great. It's the Mary Poppins of death. Like, oh man, it's wild. Um, and then finally, I would love to see more from Studio Kamikaze Douga. Kamikaze Douga. Sorry, I'm really bad at enunciating it. But I would love to see more from this because the duel was great. Whether they show us more from like this Ronin story, and basically what happens is a Ronin travels into town shortly before the Empire comes in to collect taxes. The locals fight back, grabbing the attention of the female Sith warrior that I was talking about. She comes out, fights the locals. This fight between this female Sith warrior and the locals draws the attention of the Ronin who just came in because his droid gets shot by like one of her deflections, and so yeah, he goes down there. They have a duel, as it's called, and it's really great. There's uh, the whole episode's really great. Like they have a wonderful duel, like on a river floating on a log that eventually reaches a waterfall that the Ronin calls, and like his droid gets fixed, fires, and like kills all of the Empire people, Imperial troopers and stuff that are holding all the locals hostage. One more comes after like the female Sith warrior to distract her a little bit. He gets tossed off a waterfall, comes up, a lightsaber ignites, and this female Sith warrior jumps through there, striking the lightsaber illuminated in half, but it's actually just a statue. And then from behind, the Ronin kills the female Sith warrior. And then he just leaves because he's just a Ronin. He has no like short of just wanting to protect himself and like just get out of there. Like he really has no business staying in this village. He does leave the village with the Kyber crystal, with the young chief of the village, and he says, "Keep it. It'll ward off evil." It's really great. There's actually a really great kill with the umbrella. Um, that the Sith warrior opens it up and like cuts a guy in and like he just falls. Like you don't see all the pieces tumble down. It's Disney, come on now. But like it's still like brutal. Um, and then the filmmaker focus. Like I said, I wanted to watch this once. Give me special features all day about episodes and stuff, or episodes or TV or whatever. So it makes sense. Like in the filmmaker focus, they said very specifically they went like with a Kurosawa inspired like feudal Japan kind of look and setting and tone to it, which like they nailed. If you haven't watched The Duel, I highly suggest. Why did you just listen to me spoil all this for you? Please go back and watch it, and then come back and watch this, because it's really great. Or if you want to watch this first, whatever. It's awesome. It's a lot of it. It's so good. The animation's really good, but like it was really great to see like they were like we set out to do this and they did it. Like and they nailed it. The Duel is so cool. I love the idea of this character of that Ronin and stuff. And then it was also really interesting that very specifically, like they picked, the filmmakers picked very specific parts from the original trilogy that they wanted to kind of give slight nods to here. And when they're on the log, when the Ronin and the female Sith warrior are on the log, going down the river, heading towards the waterfall. He said it's very specific to Episode 3, where Anakin and Obi-Wan are floating on like the metal pieces of the lava before they have their final battle, and like Anakin loses all of his limbs and like it's just left, they're burning and stuff, limbless, from Obi-Wan, and which I was like, wow, that's a really interesting pull to do. Usually people will try and like honor the original trilogy more so than like the prequel trilogy, or like I mean even something a little bit more newer like the sequel trilogy. So it was really interesting that they put that poll, and then they do when the Ronin falls off the waterfall and the female Sith jumps down the waterfall and moves the log to split the waterfall so that she can get through to the other side, like not wet or anything. The filmmaker said that that's supposed to be a nod to the Qui-Gon Jinn Darth Maul fight with the barriers, where Darth Maul is being impatient and he hits it and stuff. That like waterfall is supposed to represent that barrier and like the opening and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Again, going back to the fact of like the idea of nodding, giving a nod to the original trilogy, or the prequel trilogy, like that was like really interesting and stuff. But also doing like the look and the feel and kind of the tone of the feudal Japan and like the Kurosawa films that like inspired George Lucas to do the original trilogy. It was a really great balance of like kind of doing them both with that, and it was interesting to find that out through the filmmaker focus of this. If you really like this first episode like I did, the other works that I kind of looked into from Studio Kamikaze Douga was it's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So if you want to see anything else from them, go check that out. I know I will at some point. Thank you for coming to episode 1 of Anime Any Day here on the Triple C Collective. My name's Jimmy. You guys have a great day.